Not with a lucky pick, not a windfall, with a wheel that someone started turning. A flywheel is a heavy wheel that's hard to move at first. The first push barely budges it, the 10th push a little more. But the wheel never forgets a push. Money works exactly the same way, and in the next 10 minutes, you'll see the actual math of how small, boring, consistent pushes become unstoppable momentum. No hot picks, no perfect timing, no get-rich-quick. Just the mechanics, shown with real numbers, so you can check every claim yourself. Here's the plan. A true 15-year story, the 3 pushes that power the wheel, the dividend engine that makes it spin itself, and the one mistake that stops everything. First, the story. The person behind this channel has made the same push every single month for 15 years, 1/4 of every paycheck straight into retirement and savings. No exceptions for bad markets, no doubling down in good ones. The same boring push, 180 months in a row. 15 years later, $1.5 million. Markets helped some years and hurt in others. The wheel never stops. Here's what that journey looks like, scaled to something anyone can use. Every $1,000 per month, growing at 7%, the long-run average for diversified stocks. Watch the early years, the line crawls. After year 1, about $12,000, almost all of it your own deposits. This is the heavy part of the wheel, everyone quits here. Year 5, about $72,000, your deposits are 60 of that. The wheel is turning, but you're still doing most of the pushing. Year 10, about $173,000, and now watch closely, because something just changed. Right around year 10, the money's own growth passes your yearly contribution. The wheel is now pushing harder than you are. This is the flywheel moment. Year 15, roughly $316,000 for every $1,000 a month. Save 1/4 of a bigger paycheck, and you can see how 15 years reaches 7 figures. The lesson isn't the number, it's the shape of that curve. Flat, frustrating, flat. And then the wheel takes over. Not dramatically, consistently. The gap between those two numbers is the only money that can ever touch the wheel. Push 2, automate it. A transfer that happens without willpower happens every month. The flywheel doesn't need you motivated, it needs you automatic. Here's the proof that consistency beats size. 2 savers, same total money in. One starts small and early, one waits, then contributes 4 times as much. The early, smaller saver finishes ahead because the wheel's real fuel isn't the size of the push, it's time. Push 3, let compounding take over. Returns earning returns. At 7%, money doubles roughly every 10 years, without a single extra push from you. One single deposit left alone, doubled in 10 years, quadrupled in 20, 8 times in 30. Every double costs you nothing. That's the wheel paying you to wait. Now, where do the savings actually go? Here's the approach behind that 15-year story. A large share of it flows into dividend-paying stocks. Companies that send shareholders cash every quarter just for owning them. A dividend is a company sharing its profits directly. Own the shares, and 4 times a year, cash lands in your account, whether the stock price went up, down, or nowhere. And here's where it becomes a literal flywheel: reinvestment. Instead of spending the dividends, they buy more shares automatically. More shares pay more dividends buy more shares. Around and around, a wheel inside the wheel. Investors call it a DRIP, a dividend reinvestment plan. Watch the math. A portfolio yielding 4%, dividends reinvested, dividends growing 6% a year. The kind of growth long-running dividend payers have historically delivered. Year 1, the dividends are pocket change. Year 10, they're buying serious share count. Year 15, the dividend income alone is a second paycheck you never worked for. 2 choices: spend the dividends or reinvest them. Over 15 years, the reinvested wheel finishes dramatically ahead. The gap is the flywheel effect made visible. Now the honest part, because every strategy has trade-offs. Chasing the very highest yields can be a trap. Sometimes a huge dividend signals a company in trouble. Steady growing dividends usually beat spectacular ones. Dividends can also be taxed in regular accounts, and dividend stocks can lag high-growth stocks in booming markets. That's why this works best inside retirement accounts, and as one engine in a diversified machine, not the whole machine. The principle to keep: whatever you invest in, make the money's own output by more of the machine that produced it. That's what turns returns into momentum. So what stops the wheel? not crashes. Crashes are temporary. Every crash in market history has an end date. The enemy is you, stopping. Two identical savers hit the same crash in year 7. One panics, stops contributing, waits 3 years for things to feel safe. One keeps pushing through the fear. By year 15, the one who never stopped is far ahead. And here's the brutal detail. The panicked saver's gap never closes. It compounds, just like the money. Every interruption doesn't pause momentum. It restarts the wheel from heavy. The crash didn't cost them, the stopping did. Which is why the boring path wins. The people who build wealth from zero are almost never the smartest in the room. They're the ones who never stopped pushing. So here's the whole machine. Pay yourself first. Automate the push. Let compounding and reinvested dividends spin the wheel. And never, ever stop it. Everything on this channel is a push on that wheel. Daily market briefings, retirement math, the mechanics of how it all works. One wheel, many hands pushing. Start yours this week. One small, automatic, boring push. Your future self won't remember the amount. They'll remember that the wheel was already turning. All of this is education, not financial advice. Your situation is yours, and a licensed advisor can help you fit these ideas to it. Welcome to the Fortune Flywheel. Come back tomorrow and keep the wheel turning.